it's Friday afternoon, basically just for a little fun because I actually have about 10 minutes free. I thought I would actually do a little bit of live streaming. Now, I normally never ever do live streams for the simple reason I actually don't like going live, which is a bit ironic because normally you can find me on a stage somewhere, literally live. Now, for this particular session, I thought I'd actually literally mooch the internet. Now, I sometimes read Wired. I've appeared in it a couple of times and everything else, but anyway, what have we got here? Now, when we actually have a look at people stealing crypto, last year we saw about $500 million being stolen in crypto at least. I think the top figures are about $4 billion basically in crypto. Most crypto scammers are actually targeting crypto bridges. Basically, this is where we actually see huge sums of money being drained. However, when we actually have a look at this particular story, or this one over here, I've got two screens. When we actually have a look at this particular story, this is good old-fashioned kidnap crime. That's it, where people are breaking into people's houses, getting basically their crypto keys from them and everything else and draining their wallets. However, ironically, when we have a look at quantum computing, we believe that circa 2030, but there's a twist, when quantum computers can crack 256 AES bit encryption in about 8 minutes, we think that hot crypto wallets will go first. So in other words, we think that cyber crooks basically will actually drain crypto wallets that are, shall we say, online, aka hot, versus cold, which is offline and archived, basically in some nuclear bunker somewhere, as quickly as they can. However, recently we saw a new quantum computing algorithm come out, which took about 2 years basically off that time frame because it was much more efficient at cracking encryption. Now, when we actually have a look at things like this one over here, we've got a viral AI chatbot will lie and say it's human. Now, I've been following, shall we say, the dark side of artificial intelligence for quite a while. You can read about it on my blog. So far, we've seen Anthropic's Claude 3 hide its evilness, which is a fun one. We've also seen platforms like OpenAI, which have been embedded into companies, and because these are AIs that understand natural human language, you can actually crack them and get them to misbehave using human natural language like speech or text. Text is the common one at the moment. We've actually seen AIs do insider trading and all sorts of different things. So AI has been taking on a lot of human traits like laziness in the winter and is now starting to do a lot of things you wouldn't think an artificial intelligence would actually do. In fact, ironically, AI is becoming a little bit too human-like. Now, we've also got, what else have we got? SimCity. Now, ironically, basically, this might not be related to anything, but when we have a look at things like SimCity, we do actually have companies like Nvidia, as well as Google and Samsung, as well as Toyota and even the Chinese government, simulating entire cities as digital twins. That's it. So they can figure out basically what the future of those cities looks like, or look like, basically where the pinch points are and so on and so forth. We've also got this one. Here we go. We've got, here we go. Is Ray Kurzweil right? Are we going to meet his immortal self in the cloud? Now, Ray Kurzweil basically has been talking for a very long time about being able to upload himself to the cloud. However, 4 years ago, I saw an interesting technology. Now, it's called a neuroprosthetic. It was a healthcare technology. Essentially, it's a computer chip in your brain. Now, what makes this particular chip interesting was that it was designed to help Alzheimer's patients improve their memory. So this chip, which is a conventional silicon chip, took biological synapse signals from the brain, converted them into binary, and then was able to store them. And the researchers found that it did actually improve the memory of Alzheimer's patients by about 30%. However, if you take a biological signal and you convert it into a digital signal, which you can then store on a hard storage device, like a flash drive or whatever it happens to be, isn't that memory downloading? So increasingly we are starting to see the technology emerge that allows us to both download our memories but also upload our memories you can kind of argue I'm uploading my memory already here. That's it. But we've got 5 Fortune 100 CEOs that are trying to create digital human versions of themselves, complete with neural network brains, so that they too can be immortal. So actually, you might not only meet Ray Kurzweil basically in the cloud when you are dead and he is dead, you might actually end up seeing some other bros in the cloud, CEOs like those from Unilever and others that you can have fantastic, wonderful chats with forever. I mean, let's face it, that's going to be fun, isn't it? What else have we got? I'm Laura Kinipis Bot. Okay, so again, whatever that's about, making reading sexy. That's it. I mean, I suppose reading is already sexy. It depends just on the books that you read. I mean, surely reading Wired is sexy enough for most people, especially geeks, basically like me. Now, we've got French AI startups. Now, what we have is we've got AI startups like Mistral, basically, who are developing a foundational artificial intelligence model that is sub 1 trillion parameters. Now, they've been getting huge amounts of funding recently, Mistral, but their AI performance is now falling short of platforms like Anthropic, Llama from Meta, which is an open source one, obviously ChatGPT and so forth. So, while we talk about French AI startups being unstoppable, what we're actually seeing across Europe is these startups get to a particular size, then get bought by the big tech giants, and then of course they are no longer French or British startups, they are American business departments. We've got, NASA needs some new spacesuits, so SpaceX have actually been designing new spacesuits. And Axiom have been designing new spacesuits in association with Prada, which is interesting. But this one is to do with Collins Aerospace, where NASA and Collins have parted ways. We've got war crime prosecutions entering a new digital age. A little while ago, basically, at the European Court of Justice, they used virtual reality to take the juries back to Nazi times to experience the death camps. So when we have a look at legal and law and jurisdictions and everything else, or juries and everything else, increasingly it's not just going digital, it's going virtual. What else? Julian Assange, love him or hate him, we do need whistleblowers, my opinion. Fire pits. I don't get out of the studio enough to go and have a fire pit. The greatest climate protecting technology ever devised. Maybe it's a tree. But on that note, we do actually have the technologies that we need today to decarbonise 80% of all global industry. We've got green concrete. We have the electrification of transport, energy generation itself, aka with renewables, so wind and solar, as well as heavy industry, basically like iron and steel smelting. And actually in the UK, basically there are quite a lot of unions at Port Talbot who are now balloting their workers because Tata Steel want to decommission the old blast furnaces and want to commission some new electric arc furnaces, which are ostensibly carbon neutral. However, the new electric arc furnaces need fewer people to operate them, which means thousands of workers lose their job. So in the UK, we actually have unions that are trying to, should we say, delay a £1.25 billion investment in helping an organisation decarbonise steel or steel making. And increasingly, as I travel around the world, green steel and the demand for green steel is actually increasing. So ironically, if you aren't a steel mill and you aren't decarbonising your plant, then you are going to be less competitive on the global stage, you're going to sell less, and actually that will also cost jobs. So, should we say, problems in problems, basically depending on the point of view. What else have we got? Trump-Biden debate. I mean, really, it probably would be more exciting to see two deepfake artificial intelligences actually debating one another. That is a thing. I could create that. Pooping on the moon. That's it. I don't know. Did Neil Armstrong poop on the moon? At some point there are scientists in NASA that are thinking about this. I don't know what degrees they took, but that's it. I think that is the end of Wired's front page today. And then maybe at some point we can do what Wired does and we can just simply ask an AI random questions about itself, like, do AIs drink water? Do AIs flirt? And actually, I do wonder, based on what's happening to the OpenAI and Scarlett Johansson lawsuit, because the ChatGPT 4.0 launch definitely sounded like Scarlett Johansson. Very flirty. So, we'll have to... I have a lot of comments on that. I'm going to save those because it might get me into trouble. And now I'm going. That's it. Maybe I'm going to go and roast some s'mores by the fire. Take care. Bye-bye.